don't know if I should be telling you this, but why not, right? What I'm going to be sharing with you is something that I used to create the timers that I had mentioned in a community post not long ago. If you're like me and you created a ton of templates and then you had to go to the labels and edit them, if you don't know how to edit labels, I have a longer tutorial on the whole process of that. So you can actually check that out somewhere in here. I'm going to link it in the description maybe. So make sure to learn how to do that first, and then you will find this video a lot more useful. Now, you'll still find it useful right now if you just watch it all the way till the end. So let's take a look at this timer that I had built. Like there's a bunch of them and I set them up so this video is not about all the timers. This video is about what's inside them or the process that I used to build these. Well, you can see all these settings here, which is done by labeling things basically. Now to label these things, what we have to do is go to the code editor. So this is basically how this looks in code format, basically the language that all of these macros are saved at. So this is how DaVinci reads it, and then it translates into whatever you see on your screen, right? Or on the video. Okay, now here we have, this is what it looks, and adding the labels, that's what the other video that I mentioned is for. So I'm not gonna go through the process of that, but these are all the labels and stuff that you can see here. Now, up here, this is the key element that you want to change to be able to make this technique work. If we change this macro operator to a group operator, make sure to write this correctly, and then we save these. I can now minimize these, and if we open this in Fusion, right now it's not going to be saved because it's saved through a DRFX file, so it's going to look just like a normal macro. And you're still gonna have all the display options right here, same controls. What we wanna do with this technique is to avoid having to relabel all of these elements again, because every time you do these, things go to different places and then you have to find them, and life moves fast. We don't have the whole day to just keep finding errors in the code, right? Unless you're a programmer and you're getting paid to find these errors. All right, so I'm gonna bring that settings or that macro file that I just changed to a group file, and we're gonna see how that looks. You see how this opens like that? That's basically because it's a group operator. So it opens the whole thing as a group inside Fusion. If you save these as a group in your macro settings and just install it in DaVinci like that, there's no problem with that. You can still see everything here like that, and then the only difference is that when you go to Fusion, it's not gonna look like this, but it's gonna look like this. So if you wanna just be able to edit it again more easily, you can just leave it as a group. Okay, now the cool thing here is that if we press 2 right here, we see that same element. We press play, we can edit things here, we can move things around and still adjust everything. Basically, we're using this template to build whatever else template that we have. Let's say we don't want to have this as a circle and we want this to be a shape. Let's do an S-gon. I don't know how you pronounce that. And then we're going to add the render and we're going to connect that as the mask. 3, I'm putting 3 like that maybe. You can have a different element here. Now, since this is a polygon, you can actually even edit this to be on a completely different way, like these. It's gonna be pretty abstract, but this is just for the tutorial's sake. And then we have these moving really weird like that. Of course, it's not gonna be an actual timer unless your video or your style of video that you want to use is pretty artsy and abstract, I guess. But yeah, now the cool thing here is, let's say for example, we wanted to add another text node. We can do so right here. Just add a text node and we're gonna connect these to the minute here. Now you gotta keep in mind that if you create a new text node, you're not gonna be able to update things as easily as if you were just using that same one. The easiest way to be able to add more things and to keep using those same elements or same settings here is to use instances. If we go and erase these and we just click here, copy, Command C or Control C. So now Control Shift V to add the instance that we're gonna be using for these, and we're gonna connect that here. And for the instance, since instance is basically a clone, what we want to do is we're going to de-instance a couple of things. We're going to de-instance here the text. So we're going to right click and de-instances. That way we can get rid of these. Now we can write whatever we want. timer. Let's say timer. Now we also have to go to the layout section and de-instance the position of these. Now we're gonna be able to put these in a different place here. Then we're gonna go and de-instance the size. Now if you de-instance the size, you're not gonna be able to change it manually again from the inspector tab right here. But if you open it again as a group operator, then you're still gonna be able to edit these manually like that. So basically, these are just a few examples of things that you can edit. You can add more stuff, take out some more stuff, but basically making sure that any element that you use should be based on some of the things that you already have here. Like you have a couple of background nodes, and that way you can add those things directly there. Let's say you're already done with the second version or the new template that you built. Now, if we want to save these, all we have to do now is right click and go to settings, save as, and we're going to find the folder or whatever folder that you want. And here we are actually going to paste these, and you can put these in a different name. Now that you have saved these, if you install these as a DRFX file, to install these as a DRFX file, what you have to do is actually turn these into a DRFX file. I have another video on that, so you can check that video out. Basically, it's just setting up the folder in a way and using the zip compressor to create the DRFX file so that it automatically installs in the path that's set up for those type of files in DaVinci, so that then later on it comes here into the effects section and shows up here in the template section. Here in the edit page. If you install these using a DRFX file, it's gonna show up here in the effects tab, and you can directly drag these into your timeline like any other effect, and then you'll have the controllers here, the controls there. If I go and grab a new Fusion clip and open these, I'm gonna drag that file, the SUALVI timer video that we just created, and if we press 2 to look at it on our screen, we can see that those shapes and elements that we had created are there and exactly how we made them. And we also have the different controls here that are still applicable and that still work with this one. We change the color of the line or anything, or the font, since we created that second text is controlled by that first one, then the fonts of both are gonna change unless you don't want it to be able to change. So you want it to just always be the same one and be still. And then you can also adjust the timer here in Fusion. If you leave this as a group operator, it's gonna be more easily editable inside Fusion. But if you have saved these as a macro and in the way that I showed you earlier, so it's just one little node, then the person that you shared these with, or if you sold a premium pack or premium asset pack, they would have to go and know how to create the group operators. Now, after this video, everybody will know how to create a group operator, but still, it's a good thing to know for anybody that wants to create templates in the future so that you can save a ton of time. And this works great if all the elements that you're creating are sort of in the same category, like timers, for example, here. If they are all like, let's say, mask transitions, then this method can also work great to do that. Now, as for the timers, just a quick shout out. If you want to check them out, hopefully they're gonna be on the SUALVI store. They're gonna be like $5 something. So if you want to grab them, then you can do that. So if you cannot afford them or you don't want them, there's a few freebies on the website too that you can check out. Actually, there's like, I don't know, so many freebies that are downloaded every week from the SUALVI store. So make sure to check those out. And if you enjoyed this video and if you learned something new, make sure to give a like, because your like and your watch time is what actually helps this channel grow. And if you don't do either of those things, then this channel will just die and not grow. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But yeah, that is it for this video. I hope I'll see you in the next one here in SUALVI. Bye.